What's up, you guys? Matt Jablonski here with The Point of Change. Tonight is the return of The Point of Change Meets. We haven't done this in a long time, so I'm super excited about it. As you guys come in, give me some likes, give me some loves, give me a share out in any addiction groups you might be a part of or onto your own page if you wish. I apologize for my camera refocusing once in a while. I don't know what's going on with that. Please excuse that. Tonight, our guest is my lovely and talented, wonderful friend, Bradley Bagwell. She's going to share with us some experiences from her addiction and recovery. And then we're going to talk about what she's doing nowadays with the Butterfly Way and things like that. So I will wait not another minute, and I will bring Bradley on here while she's looking down at her phone. Ha ha!
I'm sorry. Hello.
Hi, Bradley. How are you? Did you get enough time to do any sharing at all here?
No, I just found you. I'm like,
that's all right. Now I just found me too. So we'll share it out. You guys share it out while we share it out, and then
we found each other. I found you, and we found it. Just a beautiful thing, Maddie.
You know what I don't like though is that it makes you do like watch parties. I don't like doing that.
I know. It always tricks you.
Yeah, you got to go to the actual post on my actual page, and then you can just share it. But
yeah,
I don't want to be hosting a bunch of watch parties while I host my show here. That's just craziness to me.
Well, yeah, but crazier things have been done, Maddie.
That's for sure. That's for sure. We found recovery, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, how's everybody doing? Hi, Lisa. Hi, Catherine. Shasta. Am I saying that right? Shasta.
Yep, Shasta. I think. I don't know. I've never heard their names pronounced before. We just get to see names.
I like that name. It's lovely.
Isn't it?
Pam, I love you. And hello, Allison. What's up? Oh, thank you for sharing. That's awesome.
You guys are the best. I have the best followers. I love these guys. I love that my page has been completely organic growth. It's all been from these guys sharing it out. I never had any paid ads or anything on here. So that's all these guys putting in the work, hitting that share button.
That is so awesome. Well, aren't you blessed?
Well, Miss Bagwell, if that is your real name, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
That is a topic for, okay, well, we'll start with that. That is not my real name.
I feel like I don't even know you right now.
I know. I've been feeling like I need to tell you. I need to just be honest with you. My actual name is Teresa.
What? Wait, what? What? Is that a real thing?
Yeah, it's real.
Why is that a real thing? Tell me more about this, young lady.
Why is that a real thing? Okay, so when I went to jail, I went by Bradley because everybody called each other. You could only use your last name in there. And so that's what I got used to. And that was sort of where my new beginning happened. And so I had my fresh, clean slate. But I knew I wanted to come out and start doing videos and stuff on Facebook. So when I created my Facebook, I didn't want it at all to be connected with that old person. So I kept Bradley and used my maiden name, which is Bagwell. And then everyone started calling me Bradley, and even my mom calls me Bradley now. So it is Bradley, but that's not my official name. So there you go.
So what's Bradley then? Is Bradley a different last name or what?
Yeah, it's my married last
name. Your ex-husband's last name is not your first name? I fucking love you so much. That's awesome.
I can't believe I spilled the beans on that, but there's the truth of it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't know that. I've known you this whole time. Well, whatever. I don't even care about that old name. You know, when I first came into recovery, I wanted to change. That's why I started this as Matthew Jablonski, the motivational speaker, because my name is Maddie, and that was my drug nickname, I guess. But no, that's just my nickname. As you know, I was just looking at it in a weird light, but
yeah.
But I decided to stick with Maddie because even my mom called me Maddie. So Maddie.
Well, growing up, they called me Terry.
Oh.
Teresa. And so sometimes you'll hear, like when my mom and I are on together, you'll hear her call me Terry Lynn or something like that. And I'm like, Mom, don't ruin this for me. Or she'll call me worse. This is the worst one of all, Tootie Lynn. That's what she called me growing up.
Now you're in trouble. Now you're in trouble. Your middle name's Lynn?
Yes.
My middle name's Lynn. There's something you didn't know about me.
Maddie, that is the final sign.
Why am I giving her more ammo for this "we need to get married" gun she's got?
Yes. It is. Can you not see the signs are clear, Maddie?
If you guys don't know, Bradley is on a mission to marry me one day, and that's just one more bullet for her gun over there. Oh, what's up, all you guys coming in? Thank you guys for being here. Welcome. This is my lovely friend Bradley Bagwell. Give me some likes, give me some loves, guys. Go ahead and give me some shares out if you would. So let's get back on the subject here. When did you start using? Because I know for you it was a little later on, wasn't it? You weren't a high school user.
I drank in high school.
Okay.
And getting right out of high school, I tried like weed and I tried coke once. And then I continued to drink, but not like I had 4 kids in the meantime. So that kept me busy for a while. And then all of the bad things that, it started to pile up and inside here, not on the outsides, but in here. And I had back surgery and I started taking a lot of narcotic painkiller. And I realized somewhere along the way that the perfect cocktail was that plus a drink. So once I realized that those two together made me like, I didn't have any pain in here when I did that, not just relief from the back pain, but I wasn't feeling anything. That was it for me. And that was, I started, doing that. I'm, things were already falling apart in my marriage and stuff. But that just escalated things. And so when I got divorced, I continued. Then I started drinking like really, really bad, really heavy, taking as many pills as I could. And then I was still trying to get it together, though. I was still trying to get my life together. And I was renting a house. I had a truck that I was driving and that I was paying for. And I had 2 jobs. I was working 2 jobs and I was trying to make it happen, Maddie. I was still trying, but I still had addiction going all over the place. Right. And someone introduced me to meth and I did not know what meth was. I mean, seriously, if my kids would have brought it home, I would have thought it was bath salt. I would have taken a lovely bath in it, and so I had no clue about it. After I
wish that was still the case.
I'm telling you, man, if I tried it and I thought it was going to save my life. I could stay awake for both jobs. I could still get the house. I never had to sleep again.
Mm-hmm. There can't be a downside to it, right?
No. And so then I lost both jobs, the house and the truck, and respected my children. And I moved in with the guy who introduced me to meth. It was a trap house, and that he and their other parts of that house were that they sold all the drugs. I did everything that I could get my hands on. At that point, I stopped caring about anything. I didn't think there was any coming back from that, at all. So why would it matter? And I was just talking to one of the girls here at the Butterfly Way about that, and what, she was just a drinker, so it's hard for, like, she wanted to know about the meth world, and you've talked about it too. And I always appreciate when you kind of try to describe that to people family members who don't understand it, people who have other addictions, but don't understand what meth really does to our brain, in that first year and I got with a guy, kind of told this a little bit on Friday night too, but I got away from one of the first guys that I was with, because he tried to punch my face and put a hole in the wall, and I ran from him and ended up with this other guy.
What's his name?
Here's where it gets juicy, Maddie. You know how you're always hearing these stories like, I did really bad stuff for drugs. Well, here's my confessions, y'all. So I go to a friend's house that I had met at a bar. We had been friends for a couple of years. I go to his house, but we had known each other socially, whatever, in the bar. And Tay-Tay! Hi, Tay-Tay!
There's the fluffers, huh?
Hello!
Come in and break up all the monotony.
I love that he makes all those appearances in the beginning in your little video. So cool.
You just misgendered my dog. How dare you?
She. I said she.
See, she's so offended she went back under the bed.
Sorry,
She's a beautiful princess. How dare you?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Tay Tay. Oh, so anyway, back to the story.
Back to the
You're not
story.
gonna want to miss this part, Maddie. This is
Okay.
awful. But I went to this friend of mine's house. He had a man cave and pool table and all that. So I was hiding out at his house away from the guy who wanted to, hurt me. And I was telling him everything. And I said, I can't even pay my rent because I've been hooked on meth. I don't know what I'm doing. I lost my job, blah, 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 crying. I hadn't seen him in a long time. And he's like, he said, I'll pay your rent if you will stay here, get freaky with me and get us a ball, So I did. I got freaky. I got hooked on meth even more. And so for the next 3 years that was when that spiral just double timed, man. I was on a mission to just do the craziest crap I could, And so I used a lot of meth. We used a lot of everything, acid and ecstasy, and did the whole deal. And I don't want to bring too much of that into it, but I mean, but meth was the drug of choice. Obviously, that was always out there, and painkillers for me. And he really, there were times that he said he would have to shake me, and he didn't know if I was live. Eyes rolled in the back of my head and stuff like that. And he didn't want to buy pills for me anymore. But you manipulate, you do whatever you have to do to get, all those things. So I was just mixing, trying to find that high that I first got, those first few times.
Oh yeah, chasing that dragon tail.
Yep. And so I tried. So that was 41 though when that happened. When I started trying meth and trying everything else.
Wow, that's definitely different from most people's stories, right there. So.
Yeah. So for the next 3 years, though, I did everything I could. I learned to steal. I learned to lie, cheat, do all the stuff that I knew, my normal self would have been like, oh, that. I was like, yeah, let's do that. Let me learn more about that. I was.
Oh no, Bradley froze on me. Bradley, you froze.
I don't want to do it all, and I didn't.
You're slowly unfreezing. Slowly coming back to me. Come back to me, Bradley. There she is.
Say it again, Maddie.
Look at the pitter patter's just going. All right, you're back.
Okay, so I don't even remember where it was. Oh yeah, so 3 years of that, got drugs charged. Then I kept running, doing a stupid stuff. I was scared at that point. I was running because I was scared. I didn't want to go to jail, and I knew I was going to because it just kept on. I kept on, and
you get on the lam, and that's a hardcore run right there, ain't it?
Oh my gosh! So I ended up on the top 10 list. The top 10 most wanted for the county. So I was like, yeah, I made it. No, I'm just kidding.
But at the time, I bet you were saying that. I bet you were.
I was when I first, but then I was okay. So yeah, I was happy, but then I was looking out the blinds every second because I was waiting for those guys. I knew they were watching me and everywhere. So anyway, so I had to go serve time in where I got arrested in Houston, Texas, which was where I was at that time running. And so I had to serve a theft charge that I had gotten a year prior to that. So I served time there, and then I had to go back to my county and then wait for a court date and then wait for a bed. And so it was almost a year that I was in jail. And during that time, though, Maddie, I learned, I read this book called The Purpose Driven Life, and I learned about who I was, about who I was before all that, before even marriage, before, when I was younger, and the things that I enjoyed and the things that made me happy, and the kind of the gifts that God gave me special, special. And I started coming out of but I was still in crazy zone, for months there. So,
oh yeah, I
was a couple months into SAP when I read that book, and I started just barely putting my little, I'd laugh at something or this. I started making eye contact with people. I started getting out of that way of thinking, but still, Maddie, I mean, it took a long, long time. where when I stopped seeing shadows as demons, and every single thing around me was turning into a demon, even when I was off it. So it's a scary drug, and it's Satan's gateway, to your own personal hell on earth.
Yeah. I would definitely agree with that. I definitely would. I do not miss those days at all.
No.
It's hard to believe how many there were, but I'm proud of you for stepping away. I mean, we had to be locked in the steel cage to step away from it, but we did it. I'm the same way.
Sit you down a little bit, little girl, and you're gonna think about this. And I couldn't even think though in the beginning, but I sure am glad that I had, I always tell my friends that the state of Texas put me up in a lovely gated community, and that's
one way to look at it. Yeah.
And during that time, I started doing skits and stuff about recovery to make the girls laugh and to kind of like leave a message with them. And it just and the counselors found out, and they'd have me do certain things, and it was just really good. It was such a good thing for me, and they were a captive audience. Get it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway, so it was easy. I could make them laugh. Everybody wanted to laugh in there because that's a sad place to be,
Yeah.
A lot of mamas in there missing their families. But I really wanted it, Maddie. I mean, there's a lot of people that I know that have recycled back through there already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a revolving door there, and some people are like, I was to the point where it was clockwork. I could almost tell them when I walked out. There was a few times where I did say it. See, I'll see you guys before the end of the month.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I'd be back.
Yeah. So if I hadn't gone to jail, I never would have come, and I would have never gotten far enough away from that drug for a good amount of time to be able to think again. But anyway, I'm sure glad it all happened the way it did. And I never thought I'd be thankful for Jill, but I am.
No, right? I'm so thankful there's a few times in my life that jail didn't do nothing for me, but that was because I wasn't ready for anything to happen anyways. But there's a few times in my life where jail really, really stepped me up a notch in life. It's so nice starting over sometimes.
Yeah. It's always nice starting over. How about we start over together, Maddie? Right here, right now. What do you say? Come on. What did you tell me a few nights ago? Live a little, Bradley.
Come on, Bradley. Come on.
Well,
thanks for the refresher on that one.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That was a fun conversation.
Oh yeah. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Lex. Hi, Laurel. I see some of our peeps, our together peeps. They're coming to root me on, Maddie. Right
on. The Bradley crew is showing up and showing out. What's up, you guys? Throw up a bunch of hearts for my lovely guest here, Bradley. She needs all the hearts because she's sharing with us.
Rhonda said your honesty is over the. Literally, I haven't said a lot of things I've been saying lately because I'm starting to realize the importance of telling our story, being so transparent in all of the parts of our story, And some things I still struggle with, and I think that'll come in time and when it's exactly supposed to,
Uh-huh.
But there's some funny things that I like to, that I've told other people, like individual people or small groups of people, but I'm having a little bit more fun thinking about some things I can tell y'all over time.
That's good. It's good to get to that point where you're just open and honest about all of it. Some of it's, some of it's terrible, and that's why I try to keep such an upbeat attitude here at the Point of Change, because a lot of this stuff is pretty hardcore and pretty hard hitting. So I think it's good to address it with a little bit of a sense of levity, but some people don't like that. I do. That's how I roll, and that's how Bradley rolls over there on your page too. Yeah. So speaking of your pages, let's talk about this other page and the things you're doing nowadays. Before you even say that, how long have you been clean now?
694 days.
That's awesome. 694. Woo!
Yes.
Awesome.
I just looked it up the other day just because I was curious. I'm getting close to 2 years, and so I don't know, it's exciting.
Yeah, I had to Google. I still have to Google mine. Like, how many days since February 3rd, 2017?
Yeah, that's what I did because I wanted to talk about what I talked about the other day about and really this is true. It's funny that I just spouted that number out like that, but I really sometimes wonder if we should keep track of our days, not because I do think that's a great thing to get us inspired and go, but when relapse happens, it makes it 1,000 times harder to come back and start over,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's a tough
Yeah.
one. So sometimes
I've heard
my number, I let it fly out like tonight, but I do, I'm struggling a little bit more about that, like making a big deal about it on my Facebook and stuff.
Yeah, who was I watching? The man, the myth, the legend, the motivational speaker king here, Tony Robbins, was saying that if when you get to the point where you stop counting days, it's actually an amazing sign of growth inside of you, that you're not counting the days anymore, because in a way, subliminally, counting the days is seeing how far you made it until you stopped. So
Got it. Yeah.
yeah, so because
Right.
I felt kind of bad about it too when I didn't know my day count, because I've seen everybody else, hey, 348 days, and I'm like, how do you like, I lost count a long time ago, and I felt kind of guilty about that, because like, is it because I don't have pride in it or what? But I'm just not that good with math.
Right, me either. There's another thing we have in common. It is going to be amazing, except we'll not get to do any difficult projects that require math skills. Trouble.
This woman, I tell you.
Right. I was just reading some of the comments. I'm just amazed that everybody's in here.
Yeah, Max is here. How you doing, brother? Tiffany Tillman. Tiffany says they make sobriety apps that track clean times. That I know they do. I know, but my phone gets so clogged up so quick with Facebook and stuff, like all the stuff I do here with the Point of Change and pictures and memes that I make and everything. My phone gets so clogged so fast, so I like keep no apps on my phone.
I am right there with you. Okay, how do I get the new?
It says Matt is glowing tonight. I know. I was trying to goof around with my lighting over here to see if I could not be so fluorescent, but like this is what you get. This is the white. Just.
It's because we're spending time together, Maddie.
Aw, it is. It is. I like spending time with you. I like having you in my life, Bradley. You're a wonderful sobriety companion.
Yeah, don't do it, Maddie.
Oh man, I made her cry. Done hit a chord.
I love you so much, Maddie. When you say stuff like that, my heart just jumps right out of my chest.
I love being your heartthrob. That's fun too.
I love it. It's not going away, so you better get used to it. Did you hear my song that I sang for us the other day?
I sure did, and I actually heard it on the radio today, and I thought of you, just so you know.
That's our song now.
That's our song.
So,
don't ever leave me, because I'll find you.
That's right. Okay, Craig. Don't test it. Don't trust me. Everybody will tell you, right?
All right, so now that we're way off topic, let's go back to the butterfly way. Let's talk about what you got going on nowadays.
Okay, so where should I go? Okay, so in August, I started working here at the Butterfly Way. You can go check it out on Facebook and also at butterflyway.com. It is a sober living house for women over 35. And it's such a good program, Maddie. I came in, she knew that I was interested in doing the house manager job. And we had some friends in common, kind of through this whole recovery network thing that we do on Facebook, that I met Higgy, that I met Marty, that Marty introduced me to Lori, and so I met my boss last year around this time at the Narcan training in Dallas. And I didn't know I was going to end up working for her only a few months later, but that's how God works. And so he's so good. But anyway, so now I'm here at the Butterfly Way, but I came in as a butterfly so that I could experience what life is like in a sober living house. And this particular sober living house is amazing because they have a great program. Like, we wake up in the morning, we do yoga, or we do meditation. We have our own butterfly way meetings that we do, like recovery meetings, AA or whatever you want to call it. A recovery meeting. And then we either do yoga, or we have group life skills like therapy, or our sober coach comes and talks. But like, we're still staying on, and we're doing all of the events that we did before, except for that we're not able to go give back. We were going to one of the treatment centers downtown, and then to a new thing that we started doing was going to an elderly living home where they needed a meeting, and we'd go carry the message there. So we are missing that now. We really miss them and being able to do that. And, I think a lot of people are feeling like that, because right now we have the time, we want to give back and we can't, like that's how it feels. And so, but we still stay really busy, and I love it. I feel like God just lined up last summer so that I would end up right here, exactly where I was supposed to be. And now I'm not just a house manager, but I go and I get to be the public relations person too. And so I'm going to treatment centers and getting to meet people in Texas. Like, this helps with the recovery crawl and everything else I do, because when people ask about, I have knowledge on it, and it's so cool. I'm just so blessed, Maddie, because last year, I don't know when you and I actually met, but I was in a motel at this time last year. Oh, well, I had just moved into my tiny little apartment, and I wasn't making it. Like, nothing was going right, and I couldn't find a job. I was a felon, and it's just all of that stuff. And so, and I was just staying home, just staying inside all the time. And only time I would get to have any kind of recovery talk was online. So I'm always about, what we have created here.
Yeah, that's awesome though, to have that. And
yeah.
So how has the COVID-19 quarantine and everything else, how has that affected the Butterfly Way? How are you guys getting through that?
Okay, so yeah, we're doing everything via Zoom. Yeah, we have Zoom. I do the meditation, but we do yoga, all of our meetings, and now we also have an evening meeting for the women. It's called this is funny. It's called Women's Only Recovery Meeting, is what we put on our post. And my cousin chimed in the other day, and she's like, "Oh, please tell me that you shorten that to WORMS, because it's Women's Only Recovery Meeting. Worms are caterpillars before they're butterflies, whatever." Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was a cute connection. But so we're doing everything via Zoom right now, and it's going great. Everything is still, it's really great. Now, we're actually getting to know a lot of women that we went to meetings or had seen here and there. We're actually developing this really, really strong bond in our meetings every day. And some people who try, we put it on the Butterfly Way website. And so women that I've only known on Facebook are coming to these meetings too. And that's really cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Now, how are you able to pay attention to the meetings when you're staring at my face during your meetings?
Maddie? Help me out. They do ask me what I'm looking at.
You totally got caught.
Man alive. My gosh. There's my boss who totally just got me fired, man.
Yeah, why don't you tell us how you know about the meetings that they have there?
And that kills me, because you'll be like, and I'll see you laughing. I know you're making them laugh. I see all that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm missing something really good.
Oh, you missed such a good, or no, you didn't miss the one where I was talking about the green guy. Everybody loves it when I'm all anxious and ranting up here. And when Facebook didn't give me the green guy back the other day. That was fun.
I did see part of that one. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was.
Lori's like, what? What are you doing during these meetings? See what? Oh, let me tell you about what happened on these Zoom meetings. I think they're starting to try to contain it a little bit, but Zoom blew up. It went from like this small to gigantic, over just a few days, really, because everybody had no choice, And so when we were doing some of our meetings, and we would just all of a sudden we'll just get like 10 people trying to get into the meeting, and it'll explode with ugly stuff that you don't want to be, that you don't need to be seeing or want to see. And so I forgot where I was going with that.
Talking about Zoom meetings and how they've taken off.
Because I'm the bouncer. So I have to I keep track of the door and who's coming in and stuff. So don't get me in trouble, Maddie. You know why I'll miss some people. Sometimes she has to let them in. She's probably like, Maddie, now I know who to come after. So I'm in trouble is what I'm saying. But anyway, yeah, it's
sorry.
Good. Sorry. Everything is just amazing, Maddie. I'm so blessed, and
I know. I see it in your eyes when we talk and stuff. You're definitely happy and you love what you do, and I love that too. That's awesome. And isn't it cool how, like you were saying, you didn't really have much going on for a place to live. You had your little apartment, and were having trouble finding a job, and then you find all of those things through recovery. That's amazing how recovery itself will lead you to the next answer, to the next problem. I've found that so many times in my own recovery, and so many times through my speaking career, where one speaking engagement led to the next, or and it's just things. Put good in, get good out. Is what I was trying to say.
Say it again. That was so cute.
Put good in, get good out.
Oh, you're right, and I'm constantly having to remind myself of that. It's just, to not let everything going on and just keep on doing that next right thing and keep my recovery first, because we can get sidetracked, get complacent, get whatever it is, and then you're backtracking. It's like you start working those steps backwards, you're in trouble.
What am I doing on purpose, Tiffany Tillman?
I swear he's doing it on purpose.
He flexes a lot on camera. Oh, is that my flexing?
Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you for whoever said that. Do it again, Maddie. That was awesome.
Bradley. That was awesome.
Yes. It's the best night ever. Laurel, I will send you that link for sure. I'd love for you to come. That'd be so awesome. So yeah, the women's, but just so y'all know, Butterfly Way on Facebook, the Butterfly Way has the Zoom meeting information on it, but also the butterflyway.com if you're interested in looking at the sober living for whatever situation. That is a great place to go and check us out.
So many of my friends here in Washington have got licenses back, got vehicles and homes in their recovery. It's so awesome. It makes my heart happy for them.
Yes.
Right on, Rhonda. It definitely does. I love seeing people get better and better and better, and it's not only just that, but it's also when you surround yourself with the right people, and, when you find your recovery crowd and you find your recovery family, you start seeing not only yourself getting better, but everyone around you is doing better as well. It's like a group mentality of everybody just pushing for better the next day. And we're pushing, this guy gets his license back and gets a car, but the next guy sees him doing that and wants that too, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful climb that we can all make together.
And it doesn't happen, but those of you who are new in recovery and wishing things, why aren't they happening now? Because we want it now. We want it right now.
Instant gratification right now. That's worked out so well for us in the past.
Right. But it just doesn't. I mean, it happens really slowly, but it's before you know it still, like I have a job. I'm living in this beautiful home and I'm, house.
Yep.
I wouldn't have thought of myself. I didn't say I want to be a houseman. You know what I mean? Like that just kind of like progressed into that, and I'm learning so much from this. And I got a car, a couple of months ago. It's from 1994, but I love the hell out of it. And I'm doing this thing, and everyone else that's new in recovery, that is frustrating because I saw other people doing their thing, and I'm like, when is it going to happen to me? And it does. It does.
Mm-hmm.
And every day, it's like I'm learning a little bit something else that goes, and then like a month from now, I'm going to go, oh my gosh, I changed. It's like all these wonderful changes, and anyway, it starts to build this momentum, and you just get bigger things start happening. It's almost like a test from the universe. How are you going to handle this? Oh, you did a good job. Okay, here you go. Let's do this next right thing. So that's the way I see it.
Yeah, and when you start focusing on yourself instead of focusing outside, and because it's so easy for us to ignore our own problems by looking at other people's problems or by doing anything outside of ourselves through distraction,
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's well, I had a thought I thought of. Oh, while you're going through it, it seems like forever. It really feels like you're just fighting upstream and it's so hard, it's so challenging in the moment. But then when you get to a year or 18 months or 2 years and you look back, that's when it's like, holy crap, that went fast. Like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like while it's going on, sometimes it feels like it's dragging and taking forever. And
Yeah.
like you said, why is everybody else getting their stuff back? What happened to me? Me, I'm doing so good. Why am I losing things still? Or why is it still so hard? And sometimes people will say, oh, it's because your recovery's not that strong or you're you're missing something in your recovery. But most of the time it's just that residual chaos that hangs with you in recovery, because if you were like me for 13 years of naughtiness, like a little bit of it hung around with me when I first came into recovery, and it felt like it was hard to grow. But eventually you just break the pot and you grow and grow and grow.
We grow butterflies here. We grow wings. Oh, and so Maddie, speaking of wings, I just wanted to tell everyone also that the Butterfly Way is working on a 501c right now. It's going to be called the Butterfly Wings of Hope. And so that we can get the nonprofit part of this going, because there's a lot of women who need this right now. And so if there are anyone out there who is I know that right now is just the time that we want to give back. We don't know what to do. We're on Amazon buying, shopping for stuff we don't need. But if you're looking for some place for it to go, the Butterfly Way is working on that. But right now we also are offering just put something out there for women to get in here if they need to. It's Venmo, and it's at the Butterfly Way. That's all you have to put in the little search engine, and you can donate like that, and it goes straight to women who need to come into the sober living.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love all the help you guys are doing. That's great.
Yeah. Also go like the Butterfly. There she is, my beautiful boss. But go like the Butterfly Way. We do a lot of good stuff on there. So we have some good lives going, and that talk about a lot of the things that we talk about in here in our group. Life lessons and just things like that. And our nutritionalist gets on and talks to me. My yoga instructor, she gets on and talks about the Passion Project. Did I tell you about that, Maddie?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'm jumping all over the place, but I have so much to say. The Passion Project kind of goes hand in hand with that you and I like so much, Maddie, is the universal law thing, is it just kind of helps you hone in on what your passions are, so you can start going in that direction. Because a lot of times you get here and you don't know who you are. I didn't know who I was still. I kind of knew what I want to do, but it just opened everything up, and that's when I started really getting into that. And you and I started like watching that and all. But so the Passion Project is what we call it, and it's just an amazing class that we take here. So I like to talk about that with Rita on lives, and so we'll try to plan something where we can
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I love seeing therapy tools like that and stuff like that being used in recovery, because that's exactly what we need. It's through addiction, you kind of lose all your coping skills. If you had any in the first place, you lose them. If you didn't have them, well, then that's generally a pretty good reason why you ended up in addiction, So through our programs and through our counseling sessions and things like that, it's like somebody handing you a big old toolbox full of coping skills, and that's exactly what we need. We need those things to replace because drugs, even though it's a negative coping skill or it's a negative thing, it is a coping skill nonetheless, and that was what we knew. That was how we dealt with everything that came our way. So you have to be able to replace that with new coping skills. Otherwise, that's when we have dry addicts, and that's when we have relapse, because you never learned how to deal with the problems.
Well, and sometimes you can have a whole toolbox full of tools, but if you don't open the toolbox and start using them, they just get rusty.
Yeah.
You don't ever. So I had the knowledge of the tools, but I wasn't using them. I wasn't putting it into practice. And the more that you do those little things, the more it becomes just part of what you do, And then all of a sudden you're telling other people, hey, this is what I do. And you're teaching someone else. And that always surprises me. I'm like, whoa, where did that come from? I just said a quote from the big book. Well, I don't even know where that's coming from. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep. I've been there many times. All of a sudden, a bunch of, and I've done it a few times. I'm in like a few recovery humor groups and stuff, and I'll see a meme of some sorts or whatever. Which I will even haha memes that I don't really think it's funny or whatever. It's a little tad bit racy or something like that. I will haha it just because I think everything should be able to be laughed at. I don't think anything is off limits on that.
Yeah.
But I see a lot of people and they'll be in the comments and all of a sudden I'm like, I'm going to reply to this one. And before I know it, I got a book typed out, and I'm like, oh, holy crap.
That's good though.
Maybe I should start a page or something.
Right, you should. You would be amazing.
It's something I've thought about.
Yeah.
I've thought about it.
I would follow you.
I could do like live videos and stuff. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'd follow you. Anywhere you go, I'll follow you. I know. Hey, Denny Wilson in the house. How are you? I enjoyed watching his live last night with his parents. That was cool.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Those are always awesome to see. I've done a few videos with my mama now. We actually, yeah.
Those too.
I love doing those. I don't know. I lost one parent, so that's one of those things now. It's like I miss every moment that I had that I could have talked to my dad and stuff like that, and different times that I wasted over the years. So now, like a lot of times I just call my mom and just message her out of nowhere or whatever, just because I'm like, man, those are the moments I'm going to look back at when she's gone. I don't even like saying that.
I know.
but those are the moments I'm going to look back on and be like, oh, I should have called my mom that day. So I don't want that to happen anymore. That's for sure.
Yeah, I lost my dad in my addiction. I mean, he had Alzheimer's and he got pneumonia, but he already had because he was an alcoholic. Not the last 10 years of his life, so I'm very proud of him. But because of the Alzheimer's, he ended up in a nursing home, and then got pneumonia, and all of his other organs started shutting down. But I was in my addiction when all that happened, so that really sucked.
Yeah.
And so I enjoy bringing my mom alive too, and we, you see us doing that, and we figured out. Not this last Friday, but the Friday before, how to pull her live again. So she got to sing and we got to check in with her. That was pretty cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Those are good things.
Yes.
Yeah, I got to get my mom back on here someday soon. Now that I'm doing this again, I got to bring my mama back on here.
You should introduce me to your mama.
Oh, should I? Should I bring you back home to meet my mom?
Yes.
you two would get along swimmingly. I know that.
Yes, do it.
I'm surprised you don't know her already.
I'm surprised I don't either.
Most of the people that come on my program are like, "Oh, I was just messaging with your mom earlier." She don't like even.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like Casey Makes Music and Jordan Meyer. She's always chirping it up with them guys.
Everybody else's parents, I do, but Maddie, I get nervous around your mom.
Oh, do you?
I get nervous because I want her to like me.
The woman who created this legend over here.
Yes, my future online husband. Amazing. Y'all have never seen anything like the plans that Maddie has for us.
Oh yeah. Wait.
He's acting surprised, but
oh, he's always so goofy like that.
Yeah, so stop being silly, Maddie.
Pretends like he doesn't see me with my binoculars. Oh, I'll leave my blinds open just enough for you, Bradley. How about that? Oh.
Oh, shoot.
Watch her on Google Earth later going down the street view of my house.
Heck yeah. So what else, Mr. Maddie?
Oh, I don't know. What else would you like to talk about here tonight, Bradley?
I don't know. We covered a lot.
We sure did. What time is it? It's 9:45. We could take this till 10 o'clock as long as people are having a good time and want to hang out with us.
Okay.
We've held a pretty good crowd. We've been over 20 the whole time. Finally dropped down to 19. Now it's back up 22. Look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo.
That was adorable too, wasn't it, y'all? So cute.
You just love me too damn much. That's
I
the
do.
problem.
It's true. It's true. But that's something that I just said. I'm not going to hide that. I'm just not going to do it.
No, not gonna bury those emotions, right? Just gonna let them dry. All right, I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that. I need that in my life.
Maddie, once you want to come through the. Okay.
Calm down.
I'm just trying to get him to blush. No, I really do.
I'm surprised I'm not on your vision board there.
Oh, I'm working on that actually.
Oh yeah, you gonna put me on there?
Yeah, you're going right in the center.
It's just a poster of me. It's not even a vision board. Just
Right.
the one thing I want in my life. I had this man, he'd fix me. I know he would.
Oh, somebody keeps getting kicked out.
Oh no!
No, because Facebook hates Maddie. That's what he was about today.
Oh, Deanne Yanko. I keep getting kicked out, guys. So excited to have found you. Well, I'm glad you're here, Deanna. Deanne, sorry. I'm terrible.
Oh, look at that. What color theme for the wedding?
Tiffany Tillman over here.
I like Tiffany. She rocks.
Laurel, so is there anything on your dream board come true yet?
Oh, well, let me look. Memorable moments, right? Balance, I'm doing better. Doing much better. Filling my cup often. And guess what? I mean, even the COVID-19, which has actually helped that situation a little bit. I'm always pretty happy, but this is my daughter. That's not come true, but it's gonna. And this is me and you, Maddie.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, but you're gonna be the one cooking, and I'm gonna be playing with my cell phone up there.
Well, I hope you like mac and cheese.
I love mac and cheese.
We're perfect then, Bradley.
No, we're perfect for each other.
Oh, Tiffany says 13th steppers.
Yep.
13th steppers. It's not 13th stepping unless I'm helping you with your addiction, which I can't make 13 steppers go away. There we go. We'll just keep that up. We'll just
literally and figuratively.
That's pretty much our title. No, that's something we've talked about in the past, Bradley, at 13th stepping and how, it gets thrown around so much. Like if two people in recovery end up hooking up, it's instantly called 13th stepping. But there actually is more to it than just that. It's somebody helping you with your recovery and using helping you with your recovery as a front to prey on your weaknesses as a recovering addict and take advantage of you. What Bradley does to me is not 13th stepping. It's just fun.
I do want to take advantage of it, but it's whatever he lets me do.
I love how your toxic traits are just right on the surface, and sometimes.
Well, I'm glad Maddie, it's gonna happen, guys. Y'all can tell.
Whatever. I just wanted to diddle my hoo-hoo lily.
Wow. Okay. We'll spit all of that out there.
See, she likes it. Oh, Tiffany's laughing so hard her face hurts. Right on. I love doing that. Shasta loves watching us together.
Well, I like. Now you're calling her Shasta. I said Shasta. So
Shasta.
I like both, but I want to know who's right.
Wanna Fanta? Don't you want?
But I like her already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
We got a lot of people rooting for me.
Yeah, I know. I've seen the comments have been nonstop asking when we're getting married. Tiffany Tillman said she's gonna marry you if I don't.
What?
yeah. Hang on, I'll find it just for you. There you go. I've seen it. Yeah, here we are. You're gonna marry her, I will. She's freaking great.
Wow, Tiffany.
Yeah, see that conversation we were having the other day, Bradley.
Maddie, hey, that stops
Yeah.
Maddie?
It's naughty. Naughty. That's naughty.
This
Let's
is
see.
fun. My cheeks are
Yeah,
are-
that's a
been a
real
while.
thing. She's talking about 13th stepping, but
Mm.
yeah, learning all kinds of stuff. Oh yeah, that's one of the things you have to be careful for in recovery is 13th steppers, people that will try to offer you help with your recovery just to get you close to them so they can manipulate their way into your panties. It's not
And
good.
that happens all the time, but it probably happens in lots of different life circumstances. It's just not called 13 stepping. Okay.
Yeah, we just
But
do it.
I on my, in my past videos and stuff, I make a lot of jokes about it, and I probably shouldn't, but I don't, because I think it happens in all area of life. Any time that you are vulnerable to certain, influences, but it's not just in recovery. But maybe I'm just justifying it because I want Maddie to help me with my recovery. I'll take whatever I can get. Oh, Lori said, "Oh, she's still in here. I thought she left. I thought she left. Not in the house. Okay.
Not in the house. Not up in here.
Oh,
Man.
guys who
Heather likes the blue in your hair. I like the blue in your hair.
Thank you, Heather.
I agree.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Blue for today, anyway.
Yeah.
So Angie says a few older guys. She knows a few older guys who do that. They prey on newcomers. It's disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we taught somebody something, so that's exciting.
Yeah, it sure is. It's and that's stuff that people have no idea about. I mean, this is a whole different ballgame here, recovery, and it's just like anything in life. If you don't know about it, you don't know about it. There's always them. Everything in this world has its shady side to it. So you're gonna find that stuff when you come into recovery, but you just ignore that kind of stuff and just keep trucking with what works for you. And
well, more important than even the 13 stepping is the fact that we aren't. I mean, everybody's different, I guess, but a lot of times we come into recovery, we don't even know who we are or anything about what we need to go through before we can be strong enough to even have a relationship. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think that's more of a deal. Something more serious is when you keep falling into these relationships in addiction, and then when you go into recovery because you haven't learned that stuff.
Yeah.
Learning that stuff. So even though I'm kidding here, I love Maddie. I'm learning that as I go. There's a lot of tough calls that I've had to make because I had to break patterns, and I just had no clue who I was.
Mm-hmm. And that's why that 13 stepping works out for them guys too, is because most addicts, when we come into recovery, we're pretty used to manipulation as a sign of love and as a normal thing in our life to have our friends and loved ones manipulating us and for us to manipulate our friends and loved ones. So when you meet someone in a meeting and they manipulate you, it feels really familiar and it feels just fine. So, and you don't even know, and they're using your weaknesses against you, and and like you said, you don't even know who you are yet. And then but in your mind, you really want to recover. You want to be clean you want to have that clean time. You want this right now. And then you meet this guy and he has clean time and he's really smart and he's really cool and he's wearing a dopeless hat and he just seems like so cool. And then next thing you know, he don't talk to you no more and you're relapsing and it's just a terrible trip.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's see. Lisa, stick with the solid peeps in recovery. Right on.
I was thinking about that thing they say, stick with the winners, and how in the beginning I'm like, who decides who's a winner anyway? Like that sounded wrong to me, like rich, like smarter than the others or richer than the others. But that's not what it means. It means people who are daily putting into practice those tools, or using those tools and doing things to constantly better themselves in their recovery. That's who the winners are, and that's you, Maddie.
Oh,
you're a winner in my book.
Oh, shuckles. Let's see. Clean time doesn't equal recovery. Damn right it doesn't. Recovery begins often before the drugs stop. There's a strange thing for you. Some people even because recovery begins when the willingness and the want to stop starts, and when the push for a better life begins. And a lot of times that starts before the drugs stop. And we don't consider it time. We don't like say, oh yeah, that first time that I thought about changing everything, I still used for 2 years after that, but I'm counting it as recovery time.
I never really thought about that though. That's, I mean, we relapse in our head long before. So maybe we find recovery a little.
Yeah, your recovery starts. I mean, how many times I've had people reach out to me while they're still using, and it's and they're like, hey, trying to get this under control, having a problem. Yeah, I'm using ice, or I'm using heroin or whatever, and I'm just starting to think about these kind of things. And I found your videos, and I thought I'd message you. And then they might still use a couple more times after that. But once you start finding this recovery stuff and start learning this recovery world, it takes all the fun out of getting high. It really does. All of a sudden you realize, oh shit, they were right. This is really shameful. I do feel guilty now that I just got high again. All of those things I'm hearing in these videos, all this crap these people are talking about is true. And it totally takes the wind out of the sails. All of a sudden you realize how crappy this really is to sit here and do drugs,
Right. That's good.
Tiffany Tillman, I did that. She sure did. I helped her on her journey. Oh, little baby all grown up.
Good. Y'all gonna make me cry.
Oh, I love
But
it.
you gave me hope. She said you gave her hope.
Oh, exactly. That's all I had to do. That's all I had to do. She wanted it bad enough,
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that's why. But that right there is another. Since this is the perfect time, because we're talking about the 13th stepping, and then Tiffany says this, I have helped a lot of females in recovery, and guess how many of them I've hooked up with? None. and I maybe I shouldn't say it so prideful, because I miss sex so much, but whatever.
I can help you with that in our own personal Zoom meeting right after this, Maddie.
Oh, yes. Getting virtually laid tonight. Let's see. Diaz is that's true.
Tiffany?
Huh?
Tiffany has 8 months now.
Woo!
Damn, that's awesome.
Guys, throw up all of the hearts for Tiffany Tillman right there, man. She is doing amazing things. She uprooted, moved like out to Colorado from Wisconsin. Like, she's making huge moves. Awesome.
For person, people, places, and things. That's awesome. I told on myself to Bradley. Oh, Laurel.
Isn't she, though?
I love you, Laurel. I'm just surprised to be reading that right now. So good for you, Laurel. I love you. Mr. Beckwith. Of course he'd show. I thought he'd show his face around her. Newcomer in the house.
Congratulations, Tiffany. Hell yeah. That is super exciting. 8 months is no small feat. That is awesome.
Man.
There,
Yes, that's a long time. That's great.
But like I was gonna say, a lot of people think because of the whole 13th stepping thing, a lot of people will tell you that men can't help women in recovery. And honestly, by rule of thumb, I think that's a good rule to stick with that women should stick to women and men should stick to men. You will avoid a lot more 13th stepping situations in that case. But don't take it so seriously to where, a man, says, hey, are you okay? And you won't even, respond, but I guess at the same time, I totally understand that. If I were to reach out to somebody in one of my clean groups on Facebook, and, a girl posts that she's hurting, and I were to send her a message and say, hey, how you doing? You doing okay? If I was to get blocked right away, I mean, totally understandable. Good on you for blocking me. But at the same time, I guess it's one of those things that,
It is one of those things, but for the newcomers, I mean, in general rule too, I think what they say, everybody's in a different circumstance. So don't just take it one way, but general rule is getting through that first year, getting through your steps before you start trying to, fill that, because that void's going to start filling up with other good stuff that you're trying to put the man in or the woman in. So get through those things, start working your steps, start going to those meetings or whatever it is that you need to do for your recovery. But general rule, like that first whole year is really hard. You're finding out who you are. Don't you think, Maddie?
Oh yeah. And if you're putting any of that focus, or I mean, well, I shouldn't say any of it, but you should be putting as much focus into yourself as you can. I mean, and everything you do in your life is going to take your focus off of yourself just a little bit, you know, having a job and things like that, but they're necessary. If you can avoid having a job in your or having a relationship in your early recovery, the better off you're going to be, because you won't have to spend that time focusing on the other person, thinking about what do they want? Where do they want to go to eat tonight? Should I take her to a movie this weekend? Should I buy her something? Is she sad? Is she happy? Is she committed into this relationship as much as I am? Is she still texting that guy? All of that.
Oh my God, it's stressing me out. Oh, I'm so glad I'm not in a relationship. That's why our online relationship will work so much better. You know?
Yes. We're gonna be perfect, Bradley.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, because then you'll be questioning me so much, and I'd be questioning you all the time.
Whenever you told me I didn't answer your question the other night, I went back. I thought you had asked me a question in your live, so I'm like scrolling through your live trying to figure out what question, so you'd come live with me.
you literally could have went and scrolled up like an inch and been like, there's the question that he asked me in the messenger conversation that we're having.
That's the kind of fights we'll be having. You'll be like,
we were too. I messaged her and told her, we're fighting. You're not going to answer my question. And it was so funny because you like beat around, like not answering my question like 3 times when I messaged you. I was like, what the hell?
I didn't see it.
You're lucky. I could have just found somebody else to go live with me tonight.
Yeah. We're making up right now, y'all. Because I mean, he just wrote me a message and he said, "No, we're fighting." Like I couldn't even. I didn't know what I did wrong or anything. So the whole time I'm whining Friday night, I'm like, I don't even know why he's mad at me, y'all. I don't know. I'm stressing out, and you're just like, having fun with your brother or something.
Just left you in a panic.
Playful, laughing. I'm like, he doesn't love me. Here we are, kissing and making up. It's amazing. Oh, here we go. Wait, let's look at that. Did you just blow me a kiss?
I went, but I don't know if it was blowing you a kiss, but
I caught it. Wait. Right in my kitchen. Okay, read Laurel's.
Okay, yes. And it's so hard putting myself before my kids, but I just recently learned what happens if I don't. Mental health is super important. Ooh, that is an excellent topic. How do you put yourself before your children, right? That seems like something your children should be first, but if you don't put yourself first, how can you be good for anybody else? It's like in an airplane crash. What's the first thing you do in an airplane crash? Put your own mask on first before assisting other people. Because if you're not in a good place, how the hell are you going to help anybody else?
Right. But as long as that you're intact, and all those other things are going to be okay.
And that was a big thing. My brother, when I moved him down here to help him with his recovery, moving him down here, he didn't have his daughter. He didn't have what's the word I'm looking for? Custody and placement of his daughter down here, and it was a lot of struggling and worrying, thinking about that. And but just keep him focused on himself. And we've been living here. He's been here just over a year, and it wasn't that long ago that he got placement of his daughter back with him. And it wasn't by fighting and by screaming and kicking and worrying that got it done. It was just by being himself and focusing on himself.
That's the right thing. Yeah. Recovery. Yep. Anything I put before my recovery, I will lose, and that's almost always true. And it is actually.
That is true.
If you're not good for you, you won't be good for them. Ooh, boom.
Humbling.
Every relationship, everything outside of yourself, for sure. You've got to be good in you. And then.
Very hard, because my whole life I was told my kids have to come first. Yeah, and we always, and it's so funny that you say that too, because we're always told, like, we're never really told to focus on yourself. In your whole life, you were always told, hey, make sure you're sharing, make sure you're thinking of others, make sure you're polite to people, make sure you have good manners, make sure you think about your friends. But never in my whole life do I remember, them telling us, make sure you're focusing on yourself, make sure you're doing better. You know what I mean? It's always about other people, and to the point where we forget to, like, count yourself when you're counting things. You know what I mean? Like when you're counting how many people are here and how many people are eating, like you start to forget to counting yourself and stuff like that. So recovery is a whole learning experience, learning when to be selfish and when to be giving and when to, focus on you and when to focus on them and all of that.
Yeah, I used to get confused. I'm like, you want me to be selfish? And then you say I'm selfish and self-centered, and then you're telling me to get out of self and go help people. What does it mean?
But I thought I was being selfish before, and that was the problem. That was the problem. But I wasn't being selfish. I was giving so many people drugs. How was I being selfish?
I give prints out all the time.
I'm always giving drugs away. I don't see why everybody thinks I'm selfish. Whatever. They're all the ones that are selfish because they were taking my drugs.
That's right.
Deanne says, my second time clean. First was alcohol in the 80s. Second, opioids and benzos. Was married and a mom the second time. The heathens asked me to get healthy, and it was a family gig. The heathens asked me to get healthy. Ah, so your kids got you to get off drugs? Is that what that is saying there, Bradley?
I think so.
Aw, I love that.
That is awesome. That's beautiful.
And Tiffany, I got my kids back in my life after 5 years. It's a terrifying moment. You're so scared they won't understand to forgive you. They will. Forgiveness is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
When I first came into recovery, one of the first questions I asked when I was going to meetings in jail was, how do you forgive yourself for all the bad shit you've done? Because I felt like there was no way I would ever get over all of the people that I've hurt, all the times I ripped people off and was, lied to my dad, manipulated people, and just all of it. I just was so crushed by shame that I thought there was no way I was ever going to be able to forgive myself, and the NA guy there said, by receiving forgiveness from others, you'll begin to forgive yourself. And it was so true. Like opening up and telling people, that I was sorry for what I had done, and not only just opening up and telling them that, but by proving it with my actions and just going through and still focusing on me and getting better and better. I literally just started to feel like I just started to feel better about my past. And then finding this whole thing and being a motivational speaker for addiction prevention and recovery has really completely changed the way I looked at those 13 years. It's gave me something to do with it. It wasn't a waste. It was something to help me so I can help all of you beautiful people today.
Oh.
Oh.
Ow.
Ow. Ow.
Bounce. Wow.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
I knew that was coming. Lori says women especially are taught to put everyone else first. Yeah. Because especially moms and even I think that's my entire life. I was taught that, definitely.
Well, I don't know. It says, women especially, but I don't know. My mom always taught me to put everybody else first. Like my mom always taught me, hold the door for the next person and make sure you're saying thank you and make sure and I was even, make sure you're always good to the women and make sure you treat them right and make sure you tell them they're pretty and make sure you get them flowers, So we're always taught to put everyone else first in life.
Yeah. That's right.
And that's a good thing. It really is. It's a good thing. But at the same time, can't pour from an empty cup. So you keep telling everybody to focus on everybody else. What about the end of the day when I need a little bit for me?
All right. Bam. That's
right.
But I do still struggle. I still struggle with my daughter not being part of my life yet, and so I'm hoping that someday y'all get to witness that change, Y'all see a lot of miracles happen in my life, and that's going to be a pretty huge.
I'm sure it will happen.
That's happening. A miracle that's just happening right now in my life is that I have my 3 sons. I have a relationship with them, and it sucks because it's like now I know, I'm talking to them all the time. I know their struggles and stuff. So my heart's always like, like, oh man, this hurts. I'm gonna take this pain. But I'm so blessed. The blessing of that is that I am getting to have that relationship back, and that they didn't,
Yeah,
that they
that
chose
is awesome.
to forgive me, and so that's amazing. Yeah,
It's
amazing things in recovery.
one of my best friends, Sarah. She was my high school sweetheart, so she knew me before the drugs. And she told me one time when I was talking to her that, I told her that recovery had repaired the relationship with me and my mom, and she kind of took a minute and thought about it, and she's like, actually, she said, recovery gave you a relationship with your mother because when you were younger, I was never very family orientated. Like even before the drugs, like before all that, I never really was a be at home with the family and play board games kind of kid. I was more about friends and having fun and telling jokes and doing my thing than I was ever worried about my family. So recovery didn't just repair my relationship with my family, it gave me a relationship with my family. And I love that.
That's good stuff. It's going to give you a beautiful life, online life.
Heard that?
Not creepy at all.
Little Freudian slip there, huh? Freud was right. Ah.
My daughter, Heather, my daughter is 21. Yep. But 7 years ago, basically, when I started getting all crazy with meth and stuff, things happened, and she has her own struggles with other things, and like cutting, and so she, we're both going through separate things, healing from separate things, but the same kind of things. So it'll be in God's timing, and I know that'll be the perfect time. So
yeah, Tiffany says in time.
Yeah,
in time is right. It'll happen when God is ready for it to happen.
that's what I'm going to put up here on my board too, is all 4 of my kids, because it's been a minute since I've been in a room with all 4 of my kids, and when that happens, that's going to be amazing. That's going to be.
That's going to be the day, huh?
Be like, you can take me now, God.
But wouldn't that suck?
yeah, really.
Okay, you got them all 4 back and done. Yeah, you're done now. Roll credits. We're over. Well, I suppose we can allow these people to get out of here. We are over an hour, by quite a bit, actually.
You guys are awesome,
aren't they?
I can't wait to go back through all the comments and read what everybody had to say. I know we were missing some stuff there. So, we missed a lot of comments in the beginning. So I will go back. I'll be talking to y'all here shortly.
Right on. All right. Well, thank you, Bradley, for coming and sharing with us and hanging out with me for this little time here. That was wonderful.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Don't forget to go check out the Butterfly Way on Facebook and on butterflyway.com. And yeah, check us out. Oh, and Recovery Crawl.
Recovery Crawl. We didn't even talk about the crawl, but that's all right. Next time. Go join the Recovery Crawl group. Check out the Butterfly Way page. Check out Bradley Bagwell. She's wonderful. I'll keep checking her out.
Oh, yeah. Now we're talking. This is getting good. We ain't going nowhere. Y'all stay.
We're going to keep this live going all night until she finishes seducing me.
I'm about to send you a Zoom link in a minute. Yeah, this is going to get great. I love you guys. I thank y'all all for just cutting up with us and just being here and talking to us about recovery, our favorite topic.
Hell yeah. And tolerating our goofy asses.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I love you guys so much. Thank you, Bradley. And everyone, I will see you all later. Have a good night. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay clean.
Bam.